Hello everyone, myself Dr. Radha Goyal. In the last lecture, I have discussed about the blood composition and function of the blood. In today's lecture, I will discuss about the structure and function of erythrocyte, that is your first blood cell, that is your RBC. Let's start. Erythrocytes, or you can say the red blood cell. Red blood cell or the erythrocyte are the most abundant type of your red blood cell. Approximately 2.4 million new erythrocytes are produced per second. Red blood cell or the erythrocytes, they contain the oxygen carrying protein which is called hemoglobin, which is a pigment, and this gives a color to your blood. A healthy adult male has about 5.4 million red blood cell per microliter of blood, and a healthy adult female has about 4.8 million red blood cell per microliter of your blood. Now, these are the some terminology which are used for red blood cell. First one is erythrocyte count. This is the number of erythrocytes per liter or per cubic millimeter of blood. Packed cell volume or hematocrit. This is the volume of red cell in 1 liter or 1 cubic millimeter of your whole blood. Next one is the mean cell volume. This is the average volume of cell measured in fematoliter. 1 fematoliter is equal to 10 raised to power minus 15 liter. Next is hemoglobin. This is the weight of hemoglobin in whole blood, and that is measured in grams per 100 ml. Mean cell hemoglobin. This is the average amount of hemoglobin in each cell measured in picogram. 1 picogram is equal to 10 raised to power minus 12 gram. Mean cell hemoglobin concentration. This is the amount of hemoglobin in 100 ml of red cell. Now, the anatomy of your RBCs. RBCs are the biconcave disc with a diameter of 7 to 8 micrometer. Mature red blood cell, they have a simple structure. Why it is called simple structure? Because it doesn't have nucleus, it doesn't have any organelle. Its shape is like this one. This is a biconcave disc which is thinner in the middle, and its plasma is strong and flexible, which allows them to deform without rupturing when it is going to pass through your capillaries. And it contains no intracellular organelle. That's why is more space is available for hemoglobin, which is responsible for your gas transport. Moreover, RBC lack a nucleus. It doesn't have nucleus. That's why it neither reproduce nor carry an extensive metabolic activity. Moreover, the cytosol of RBC that contain hemoglobin molecule which are synthesized before loss of nucleus during RBC production, and it is constitute about 33% of the cell weight. So, cytosol of RBC that basically contains the hemoglobin molecule. Now, the RBC physiology. What is the functions of RBC in our body? Red blood cells, they are highly specialized for their oxygen transport function. We all know that RBC live about 120 days. Its lifespan is for about 120 days. It carry oxygen transport function. Why? Because it doesn't have no nucleus and other organelle. So all the internal space is available only for oxygen transport. Moreover, RBC lack mitochondria. It doesn't have mitochondria. So it generates ATP anaerobically. That means without oxygen. So they don't use up any of the oxygen they transport. Next, the shape of the RBC also facilitates its function. The shape of the RBC also facilitates oxygen transport function. The biconcave disc that has a greater surface area as compared to your sphere and the cube. The thinnest portion in the middle that allows entry and exit, first entry and exit of the gases. Next function, RBC contain about 280 million hemoglobin, and each hemoglobin carry up to 4 oxygen molecule. This hemoglobin that has protein globulin and non-protein heme pigment. This heme pigment that contains ferrous ion which is present in your heme. This ferrous ion that can combine with one oxygen and allowing each hemoglobin to bind with the 4 oxygen molecule. That means each hemoglobin can bind with the 4 oxygen molecule. Each oxygen picked up in the lungs and is bound to iron of heme group, and as the blood flows, hemoglobin releases oxygen into your tissue. Next, hemoglobin also transport about 23% of total carbon dioxide. How? This carbon dioxide, this can combine with the globin part of your hemoglobin, and as the blood flows through the lungs, the carbon dioxide is released from the hemoglobin and then it is going to be exhaled. It also play a role in the regulation of blood flow and the blood pressure. The nitric oxide, it is released from your endothelial cell. It is released from your endothelial cell and can combine with the hemoglobin. But under some circumstances, the hemoglobin releases the nitric oxide and it causes a vasodilation. Vasodilation is the relaxation of your blood vessels. This can increase the diameter of your blood vessels and cause the relaxation of your smooth vessel. This cause increase in the blood flow and enhance the oxygen delivery to the cells near the site of nitric oxide release. Now the RBC count. The normal range in the male 4 to 5 into 10 raised to power 12 per liter, and in female 3.5 to 4.5 into 10 raised to power 12 per liter. Now, what is the life cycle of your RBC? As you know, the life of your RBC is 120 days, means the lifespan of RBC is 120 days. And due to wear and tear, their plasma membrane undergo as they squeeze through blood capillaries. It doesn't have nucleus and other organelles, so it can't reproduce or synthesize, or you can say the replace the damaged one. Ruptured red blood cells are removed from circulation and destroyed by the fixed phagocytic macrophages in the spleen and the liver, and the breakdown products are recycled. Their recycled breakdown products are recycled and forms the new RBC. How? See, the macrophages in the spleen, liver or red bone marrow, they phagocytize the red blood cell. when they have phagocytized the red blood cells, they are divided or degraded into globin and the heme part. The globin part, then it is going to be degraded and form the amino acid, which is reused for the protein synthesis. Now come to the heme group. Heme group also contains the ferric ion. This ferric ion that is going to be attached with the transferrin transporter, which is a transporter essential for the transport of ferric ion in your blood. This forms a complex, ferric ion transferrin transporter complex, and reach to the liver. When it is going to be reached into the liver, it is detaches from the transferrin and only ferric ion is reached to the liver. This ferric ion can combine with the ferritin. Ferritin is a storage protein and store the ferric ion. After releasing the ferric ion from the storage site again into the blood, again this ferric ion is attaches with the transferrin. Again that forms the complex and reach to the red bone marrow, through your endocytosis. And this ferric ion can combine with your vitamin B12 and the erythropoietin, which is a hormone responsible for your synthesis of your red blood cell, forms the red blood cell through the process of your erythropoiesis, or you can say the erythropoiesis is started in your red bone marrow. Now come to the non-protein part of heme. Heme, that is contains the protein non-iron part, that is your ferric ion, and the non-iron part that is going to be converted in a green color pigment. This is called your biliverdin. Again that is going to be degraded and form the bilirubin. This bilirubin that is reached to the liver and secreted into the bile and reached to the small intestine, then to the large intestine. In the large intestine, this bilirubin under some bacterial conditions that forms the urobilinogen. This urobilinogen is reabsorbed back into the blood and form the urobilin, which is going to be excreted out through your excretory organ in the form of your urine. Now, some of the urobilinogen is converted into the stercobilin, which is going to be eliminated in the feces and gives the feces its considerable color. So this is a life cycle of your RBC that is going to be started from your phagocytized RBC and completed its life cycle again into your RBC. Now the erythropoiesis. Poiesis means formation and erythro means the red blood cell. So the production of RBC is called erythropoiesis and takes about 7 days to develop from the pluripotent stem cell. In my previous lecture, I told you about the hemopoiesis, that is the blood cell formation. In that, I have told you that all the erythrocytes that is started from your that is produced from your red bone marrow and forms the pluripotent stem cell and form the precursor cell, which is the proerythroblasts. They divide several times and synthesize and producing cells that begin to synthesize your hemoglobin. A cell near the end of the development sequence ejects its nucleus and become a reticulocyte, which is going to be mature into a red blood cell within 1 to 2 days in your blood circulation. Loss of nucleus causes the cell center of the cell to indent and producing the red blood cells distinctive biconcave shape. When the nucleus is going to be lost from the red blood cell, the biconcave shape is going to be formed. Reticulocytes develop into mature red blood cell within 1 to 2 days after their release from your red bone marrow. Now, how the control of erythropoiesis can occur? The number of red blood cells are constant in your blood, means the erythropoiesis, due to the erythropoiesis, they form the red blood cell at the same rate at which they are going to be destroyed, and this is only going to be possible through your negative feedback mechanism. See, tissue hypoxia. Hypoxia is a lack of oxygen or absence of oxygen in your blood. When there is a hypoxia, that may be due to some diseases, or when you are on a high altitude where there is a less tension of your oxygen in your blood. Then kidney secrete erythropoietin into the blood. After releasing the erythropoietin from the kidney, the bone marrow increases the erythropoiesis and the number of the red blood cell is going to be increases. As the number of red blood cell is going to be increased, the tissue hypoxia reverses. The tissue hypoxia reverses and the stimulation or the release of erythropoietin is going to be low down. But in the normal person, this is going to be controlled only in the absence of hypoxia also. But if there is some disease, or you can say when there is a low level of erythropoietin in your blood, then there is no production of your red blood cell even in the presence of your hypoxia. So how the erythropoiesis is going to be controlled? How the rate of RBC is going to be maintained in your blood? Now, the destruction of erythrocytes. As you know, the lifespan of the erythrocyte is 120 days and their breakdown or hemolysis is carried out by the phagocytic reticuloendothelial cell. These reticuloendothelial cells, they are found in many tissues, but the main tissues are the spleen, bone marrow and the liver. As erythrocyte ages, जैसे ही erythrocyte की एज बढ़ जाती है, their cell membrane के अंदर changes आना शुरू हो जाते हैं and that make them more susceptible to hemolysis. Hemolysis, lysis means breakdown and hem मतलब blood. Then breakdown of your blood cell is going to be occur. Iron is released by hemolysis, is retained in the body and is reused in the bone marrow to form hemoglobin. I told you same in the previous slide in the RBC life cycle, and the biliverdin, that is the breakdown product of your RBCs, or you can say from the heme group, and that is from your non-iron part of your heme group. They completely reduce to the yellow pigment, that is bilirubin, and before it is bound to plasma globulin and transported to the liver. In the liver, it is changed from a fat soluble to water soluble form before it is excreted as a constituent of bile. After reaching into the bile, it is reached into your small intestine and then to the large intestine. After that, bacteria work on that and it is going to convert it into urobilinogen. And urobilinogen is absorbed back into your blood and converted into urobilin and secreted from the kidney in the urine. and the remaining part of your urobilinogen is converted into the stercobilin, which is eliminated in the feces and gives the feces to its color. Now, the red blood cells, they are called according to size and according to the color. They are called normocytes when the RBC size are normal. They are called small sized when the RBCs are they are called microcytes when the RBC are the small size. When the RBC are large size, they are called the macrocytes. And according to the color, the normal color RBC are called normochromia. Due to the increased hemoglobin, it is darker in color and called hyperchromia. And due to decreased hemoglobin, they are paler in color and called hypochromia. So, according to size, they are called normocyte, microcyte and macrocytes, and according to color, they are called normochromia, hyperchromia and hypochromia. They are determined by measuring the mean corpuscular hemoglobin, that is MCH, that is a mean corpuscular hemoglobin, and mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration. Now the ESR, or the erythrocyte sedimentation rate. The erythrocyte sedimentation rate is the rate at which red blood cell sediment in a period of 1 hour. RBC and the plasma, that is going to be separated. We kept them in a Winthrop tubes for a 1 hour, and this is a common hematological test. The normal value of ESR in the men, that is 2 to 10 millimeter per hour, and in women, that is 2 to 15 millimeter per hour. Now, ESR that is increased in pregnancy, in inflammation, in cancer, in the viral disorders, even in the fever, you can find the increased rate of your ESR. And decreased ESR, that may be due to polycythemia, sickle cell anemia and the congestive heart failure. Now the disorders of your erythrocytes. Erythrocytosis or the polycythemia. If the erythrocyte count is more than normal, such state is called erythrocytosis or the polycythemia. So you can say the increased rate of erythrocyte count in your blood is polycythemia or the erythrocytosis. If there is less count of erythrocyte than normal, this is called your erythropenia. Erythropenia may be because of problems in the production of your RBC, or you can say the excessive destruction of your RBC. Now, the third one is the anemia. This is a deficiency in number of RBCs or reduced hemoglobin levels in RBCs is known as anemia. That means anemia is a reduced or less hemoglobin content in your blood. So students, let's revise the content. First, I will take your RBC life cycle. The RBCs has a lifespan of your 120 days. Okay, when the RBCs that are present or dead RBC that are present in macrophages in spleen, liver or red bone marrow, they are phagocytized and forms two parts, globin and the heme part. globin that is going to be degraded into amino acids, which is reused for your protein synthesis. But the heme group that contains the ferric ion and non-iron part that is going to be converted into a green pigment that is called your biliverdin. So heme that has been converted into two parts, that is one is iron part, that is a ferric part, and the non-iron part, that is a biliverdin. This iron part that is attached with the transferrin, that is one of the transporter, and forms the ferric ion transferrin transporter. This transporter is essential for the transport of ferric ion in your blood and reaches to the liver. When it is going to be reach into liver, this transferrin that is going to be detaches from your ferric ion, and only ferric ion is going to be reach into your liver. This ferric ion again combined with ferritin. This is a storage protein and store the ferric ion. But when it is going to be released into your blood under some circumstances, this ferric ion is again attaches with your transferrin and forms the ferric ion transferrin complex. This is going to reach into the red bone marrow through endocytosis, and with the help of your globin, vitamin B12 and the erythropoietin start the erythropoiesis and cause the formation of your red blood cell. Come to the non-iron part. This is your biliverdin. This is a green pigment. This going to be converted into a yellow color pigment. This is called bilirubin. This is going to reach into liver and secreted into your bile. This bile reach into the small intestine, then to the large intestine. Here some bacteria works on that and converted the bilirubin into the urobilinogen. This urobilinogen is reabsorbed back into your blood and excreted in the urine in the form of urobilin. And urobilinogens also converted into the stercobilin, which is going to be eliminated in the feces. And the erythropoiesis is the production of your RBCs. This is start in the red bone marrow and form the reticulocytes. It doesn't have the nucleus, so it gives the biconcave shapes. The reticulocytes that develop within 1 to 2 days after they are released from the red bone marrow. And the erythropoiesis that is going to be controlled by your tissue hypoxia, and the erythropoietin is going to be secreted from the kidney, and which increases the erythropoiesis. As the number of RBC is going to be rises, the level of your tissue hypoxia reverses and there is a lower level of erythropoietin is going to be released into your blood. As the level of erythropoietin is going to be low into your blood, the RBC number is also going to be low down. And the destruction, again they are going to be destroyed by the reticuloendothelial cells, and through your hemolysis can occur. Iron is released by the hemolysis, that is retained in the body and that is reused in the bone marrow to form the hemoglobin. And the biliverdin, that is a non-iron part, that is reduced to yellow pigment, that is bilirubin, and is bound to plasma globulin and transport to the liver. And in the liver it is excreted in the bile. And this is your red blood cell according to the size, according to the color, according to the size it is called normocyte, microcyte and macrocyte, and according to the color it is called normochromia, hyperchromia and hypochromia, and they are determined by measuring your mean corpuscular hemoglobin and mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration. ESR, that is the erythrocyte sedimentation rate. In man it is 2 to 10 millimeter per hour, and in women it is 2 to 15 millimeter per hour. Increased ESR may be due to pregnancy, inflammation and cancer, and decreased ESR may be due to polycythemia and sickle cell anemia and the congestive heart failure. These are the disorders of your RBC: erythrocytosis, erythropenia and your anemia. These are the reference. I follow the Tortora and the Ross and Wilson. Thank you. Stay healthy and stay safe.